Welcome to Tales from the Skits. The idea is to tell you a story about my experience with schizoaffective disorder and hopefully make you laugh in the process. Because honestly, it's not all horrible. But don't romanticize the illness based off one funny story. Schizoaffective disorder sucks, full stop. It just has moments of levity that make it a little bit more bearable. Anyways, as part of my disorder, I experience mood symptoms like bipolar and psychosis like schizophrenia. And it's that latter one that I'll be talking about today. I recently had a schizoaffective episode where I was hearing voices so much that it was akin to a live stream chat in my head that constantly played in the background. So pick your platform, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, where the chat is just going so fast that you can barely keep up with what's being said, and that's what it was like. And those voices would comment on anything and everything they could all the time. So about halfway through the episode, I was out shopping and one of the voices in the chat rose above the others and wouldn't stop saying the names of the items I was picking up. Like, it was so downright annoying to pick up a potato and have someone go, "Potato!" Or reach to get a cucumber and hear, "She's got a cuke." At one point I knew I had to get 5 bell peppers and I was absolutely dreading it. Pepper, 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 pepper. Annoyed yet? Yeah, that's how I felt too. Like, genuinely, I didn't need verbal confirmation of every little thing that I was doing. But psychosis does not care what I think. And it continued to not care the longer I shopped. So me being me, after I'd had enough of this, I started jabbing back in the canned meat aisle. I remember reaching for tuna and waiting for the voice to say its thing. But before it could, I beat them to it and said, "Tuna," internally. And what I mean when I say internally is that the space where this interaction is going on is on the inside of my head, in the same headspace where someone might have thoughts or an internal monologue. So this space is where I hear my voices. These are called internal auditory hallucinations, and they make up over 90% of my own psychotic symptoms. And if you're wondering what the difference is between an internal monologue and an internal auditory hallucination, I did make a video about it, which I will link up here and in the description. But anyways, back to the story, this internal nature is very useful in public situations like this one. So don't worry, I wasn't going around the supermarket screaming food items at the top of my lungs and drawing attention to myself. It was a subtle, quiet, but intense interaction that all happened inside my head. But anyways, the voice had been thrown off guard, was silent, and I didn't stop with the tuna. Every item I picked up, I'd say the name of it before it could, and it almost became like a game for me. And the voice was clearly uncomfortable when I did this. They were mostly quiet except for a few failed attempts. And this meant I'd won, which doesn't happen very often. And it's important to note that when I do things like this, I don't know what's going to occur after I start fighting back. Oftentimes they'll just start yelling at me, which is why I don't do it very often. But this time around, I did make the choice to fight back. And to my surprise, the voice was very displeased with what I was doing, and was actually quiet as a result. Definitely not what I was expecting. And eventually, like all my other voices, it did get reabsorbed into the multitude, or whatever you want to call that chatter in the back of my skull. And as I've been making this video, that voice has yet to come back. And that's Tales from the Skits. Let me know if you want more stories like this, because I have plenty, trust me. Anyways, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for joining me and making the uncomfortable comfortable. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.